Okay, here we go. It's Dan Akers here, by the way. How are you? Dan Akers, not Stan. I always think that sounds like Stan. If you saw my first video of the week on my website, danmade.studio, you'll have you've seen it takes pride of place. It's all about AI, and you'll have also heard my sidekick, Silicon Dan. He doesn't like me, I don't like him, but we're stuck with each other. I was thinking about getting into Voices podcast, as I thought maybe possibly get a bit emotional about certain bits of it. But anyway, let's see how we go on. He may make an appearance at some point. He may not, hopefully not. Today, though, it should have been a day of celebration for me. My new and improved second 60th anniversary arrangement of the Doctor Who theme. How geeky is that? It's called Doctor Who Theme 60 Infinity, in case you want to know. That's out today on iTunes, Pandora, Deezer, Amazon, YouTube, iHeartRadio in the US, you name it. It's on it. And, it may make me a few pennies, it may not. Hopefully it does. So if you're interested in Doctor Who, then go ahead and download it. Doctor Who Theme 60 Infinity, at all the major online music retailers. But anyway, the man currently tasked to protect the UK citizens from any harm, that's the Prime Minister. He's Rishi Sunak. He's motivated me to make this podcast today. The thing is, I hate having to talk about things like this, but sometimes you have to. No one wants to lay out their lives online, as you run the risk of potentially laying your professional life on the line. But as I predicted several years ago, when no one really seemed to believe me, AI voices are killing the voice industry and the career that I absolutely love with an unbridled passion. And I've also had a lifelong career ambition to work in the industry, and now I'm in it. Before long, I'll be out of it by the look of it. Sure, everyone needs to save money, but how do we convince people not to forget about hiring people? I'm still coming to terms with losing my single biggest order ever. It was an e-learning job that sounds a lot at almost £7,000, but actually that was priced way below the lowest average industry rate, which I'm not proud of, because I'm meant to be upholding fees. I'm meant to be saying, no, actually, I won't work for that because it's paving the way for dragging fees down for the rest of my colleagues in the industry. But, it was £7,000. I had to do it. It was a job that would have seen me not being able to work on anything else, neither accept nor apply for new work for about 2 weeks. And they'd be long hours too, 13, 14, 15-hour days, and also working over the weekend. That job could have solved problems that have been lingering, some of them for years. But I didn't get it, because guess what? It went to yet another bloody AI voice. Yesterday, our Prime Minister Rishi Sunak warned us all about the dangers of unregulated AI. To summarise his points, we were warned about chemical weapons building, human race dominating, evil, murderous AI pedobots. Seriously.
Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it.
He then goes on to tell us that we shouldn't rush into regulating AI because we believe in innovation. You know what, Rishi? Even without the gun-toting, human race-extinguishing, evil killer AI pedobots, if regulation could save hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of careers, stop all those people from being plunged into a poverty-driven pit of despair and depression, well, quite frankly, I say, fuck innovation. We can innovate another day when our livelihoods and/or our lives are no longer at risk. I mean, I know that's little comfort to those in his contacts list, aka Rishi Rich's list of influential people to do favours for by awarding them big governmental contracts while hoping the rest of us won't notice. But for the rest of us, you do remember us, don't you, Rishi? Those of us who weren't born with a silver spoon in our mouths, the less well off, you probably refer to us as peasants. Well, we're suffering. Do you know how it feels to have a lifelong dream, only to have that dream ripped away from you because someone somewhere invented a solution to a problem that never even existed? Facing the prospect of having to wake up from your dream leaves you feeling, well, it leaves you questioning your ability, your value, and even the point of your own existence. To see your business disappearing so fast that even when you run after it, no one else will because they're busy running after their own careers, trying to keep their own heads above water, when you're left with nothing in the bank. And I literally mean nothing, Rishi. I know you'll never be able to imagine that in a million years. Not knowing where your next meal will come from and petrified that you'll be on the street in time for Christmas. Do you know how it feels to feel worthless, useless, and pointless? Feeling an unshakable sadness because AI technology has brought your dream to an end in just over a year since it was made available to the masses? Well, there is a reason. There is the reason to police AI technology now. There is a reason to protect people's livelihoods now. Entire industries have been begging politicians to get off their lazy arses and regulate artificial intelligence for years. And a former senior Google scientist recently said,
artificial intelligence is bound to become more intelligent than humans. It could be a few months away. It's the most existential challenge humanity will ever face. It is bigger than climate change.
So why the hell aren't we doing anything about it? If the regulation of AI started today, though, it'd still be too little too late to keep my dream alive. Don't get me wrong, AI, I believe, can be a force for good. It can do great things. It can help humanity. It could do some pretty wondrous, amazing stuff. But we need to let it do that amazing stuff before we start using AI to make people richer, to avoid people having to pay for real people to do jobs. We can't forget about people. We can't stop paying people to do work. Because if we stop paying everyone to do work, then it would literally be the 1% who own the entire world's wealth running the shop, and the rest of us would be living in poverty. That's 1%, just 1%. So even so, there are some very rich people listening to this podcast, no doubt, who will also be living in poverty if we continue with AI in the way that we are. You don't just replace human beings overnight. I understand why we've done it, because people have become very excited by AI. It's making people imagine the possibilities are endless. Yeah, but we need to slow down. We need to slow right down. We're already seeing artificially intelligent creativity. Computers painting pictures, singing songs, composing music. But we're all creative creatures. We were born to be creative. We were born to think creatively. We were born to feel, and that's where creativity comes from. Without emotion, there can be no creativity. Without emotion, there can be no ideas. There can be no fresh ideas, certainly. And with AI, you're getting anything but fresh ideas because everything's a distillation of what's gone before. They say there's no such thing as an original idea. Well, it certainly isn't where artificial intelligence is concerned. The fact is, we need to stop and think. Think what it's going to feel like to those in a couple of generations from now who'll be growing up as consumers of content. And that's all, not creators, but consumers of content that's just put in front of them. They'll never know how it feels to be creative, to feel creative, to make something creative. And if they're not empowered to think creatively or be creative, then where does that leave us? Where does that leave the human race? What's our point? If there's nothing in the world to make us happy, if there's nothing in the world to make us sad, if there's nothing in the world to make us feel anything, if we grow up not feeling creative, then we grow up not feeling anything at all, surely. The human race is being zombified by artificial intelligence. We're all becoming empty caskets. We're becoming our own bloody coffins. Using our bodies to carry around dead minds that feel nothing, think nothing. The human race may as well just pack up its belongings and go home, because we'll be extinct before you know it. Well, I noticed that little AI Dan didn't make an appearance, so tell you what we'll do. Just to ram the point home that the human voice is a wonderful thing. Let me get little Dan to reenact the entire podcast from start to finish in his own unique way. Okay, here we go. Now if you it's Dan Akers here, by the way. How are you? I'm Dan Akers, not Stan. I always think that sounds like Stan. If you saw my first video of the week on my website Danmade Studio, you'll have you've seen It Takes Pride of Place. It's all about AI, and you'll have also heard my sidekick, Silicon Dan. He doesn't like me. I don't like him, but we're stuck with each other. I was thinking about getting into Voices podcast as I thought I'd maybe possibly get a bit emotional about certain bits of it, but you know what, Rishi? Even without the gun-toting, human race extinguishing, evil killer APT bots, if regulation could save hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of careers. Well, quite frankly, I say, fuck innovation. They say there's no such thing as an original idea. Well, there certainly isn't where artificial intelligence is concerned. The fact is, they'll never know how it feels to be creative, to feel creative, to make something creative. The human race is being zombified by artificial intelligence. We're all becoming empty caskets. We are becoming our own bloody coffins.
using our bodies to carry around dead minds that feel nothing, think nothing. The human race may as well just pack up its belongings and go home, because we'll be extinct before you know it.
This, the first episode of the EI podcast, was produced on the 27th of October 2023. It was written, produced and presented by Dan Akers, with Silicon Dan making a number of unwanted appearances. It was created without the aid of artificial intelligence.
So whose intelligence did you use?
Doctor Who Theme 60 Infinity was produced and arranged by Dan Akers and based on the original Doctor Who theme composed by Ron Grainer.
He was a Cyberman.
Actually, no, he wasn't. He was a real person. Now, go away before I unplug you. In fact, do something useful. Go and make me a cup of tea. Strong, no sugar, and a dash of milk.
Asshole.
You're British.
Asshole.
That's better. This programme was produced with the help of DESCRIPT, who supplied the other music featured on this episode. The EI podcast, an emotionally intelligent critique of artificial intelligence, was Danmade by Dan Akers and is copyright 2023 Danmade content, voice and music. Please subscribe to Danmade TV on YouTube, and to find out about our range of creative services...
Powered by robots.
Powered by humans, see danmade.studio. Now, where's my cup of tea?
Yesterday I went, as we all must, to Peppa Pig World. I don't know if you've been to Peppa Pig World. Hands up anyone who's been to Peppa Pig World? Not enough. I was a bit hazy what I would find at Peppa Pig World, but I loved it. And Peppa Pig World is very much my kind of place.
Woo!